Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. The Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program is a 30-minute radio intervention support program that is meant to provide continuous instruction to keep you academically engaged during this stay-at-home period, as well as preparing you, our 6th, 9th, and 12th graders for the pending Liberia Primary School Certificate Exam, Liberia Junior High School Certificate Exam, and West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Exam when the time comes. Also, in addition to this academic support, the program is meant to provide psychosocial support for learners, teachers, and parents, and also tips on how you as parents and teachers can provide support to your students and children at home. Now, let's join our teacher for today's lesson.
Hello learners, parents, and teachers. I am Joules Sandiman, your radio teacher for this lesson. And this is the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program for you, our beloved learners, teachers, and parents of the Republic of Liberia. Welcome. Our subject today is General Science for students of grade 9, and the topic is energy. Remember, our last topic was on forces. Today, our topic is energy. So get ready for today's lesson. I want you to pick up your pencil, pen, copybook, and get ready. Remember, this is General Science for students of grade 9, but other students for other grade level, 5th grade, 4th grade, up to 12th grade, can also sit and listen for this lesson. Welcome. Today, the objective of our lesson is to help us learn how to calculate work done, calculate power, define energy, and name the 7 main forms of energy. Today, learners, we are going to learn how to define energy. We are also going to name the 7 main forms of energy with examples. We will learn how to calculate work done and also how to calculate power. Energy is the ability to do work. The ability to do work is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed or created, but it can be transferred from one form to another, or transferred from one object to another. You cannot destroy or create energy, but energy can be transferred from one form to another, or it can be transferred from one object to another. Energy is measured in joules. There are 7 main forms of energy. There are 7 main forms of energy. They are kinetic, potential, chemical, atomic, electrical, heat, and light energies. There are 7 main forms of energy: kinetic, potential, chemical, atomic, electrical, heat, and light energies. Let's list the 7 main forms of energy with their description and examples. The 7 main forms of energy with their description and example. We start with kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is another name for movement energy. Any moving object has kinetic energy. Any moving object has kinetic energy. Examples: a moving car, walking and running are all examples of kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is another name for movement energy. Any moving object has kinetic energy. Potential energy. This is stored energy. This is stored energy. Example: a rock sitting on the edge of a cliff. If the rock falls, the potential energy will be converted to kinetic energy. But the rock is sitting. Energy is stored. But if the rock falls off, then the potential energy there will now be converted to kinetic energy because why? It's moving. Chemical energy. This is a form of potential energy stored in chemicals and released in chemical reactions. This is a form of potential energy stored in chemicals and released in chemical reactions. Example: the batteries, food, gasoline are all chemical energy. Atomic energy. This is the energy stored in the nucleus of atoms and can only be released if the nucleus is split. This is the energy stored in the nucleus of atoms and can only be released if the nucleus is split. An example is the sun. The sun is an example of atomic energy. Electrical energy. This is the energy transferred by flowing in a circuit. This is the energy transferred by flowing in a circuit. Heat energy. This is the kinetic energy of particles. The hotter the object, the more kinetic energy the particles have. Heat energy is the kinetic energy of particles. The hotter the object, the more kinetic energy the particles have. For example, if you warm ice, you increase the kinetic energy of the particles. You warm it enough and the particles separate and move about, which melts the ice. You keep warming it and the particles will have so much kinetic energy that they become a gas. Light energy, the last of the 7 main forms of energy. This type of energy can be detected by our eyes. For example, the sun, a candle, or a light bulb. This type of energy can be detected by our eyes. For example, the sun, a candle, or a light bulb. We've just named and described with example the 7 main forms of energy. Now, we are going to explain how a machine makes a job easier. To explain how a machine makes a job easier, you need to be able to calculate work done. You need to be able to calculate work done. Work is done whenever energy is transferred from one form to another. Work is done whenever energy is transferred from one form to another. The units are Newton meter or joules. This means the distance must always be in meters. Work done is equal to force multiplied by the distance moved in the direction of a force. Work done is equal to force multiplied by the distance moved in the direction of a force. So work is equal to force times distance. We will take a short break and bring you some health tips.
Coronavirus is spread via droplets. When the person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
Welcome. Now, let's calculate. Remember, to calculate work done, you have to multiply the force and distance. To calculate work done, you have to multiply the force and distance. Let's take, for example, how much work is done when a force of 10 Newton moves an object 3 meters. How much work is done when a force of 10 Newton moves an object 3 meters. Let's calculate the work done. Work is equal to force multiplied by distance. Therefore, the work done is 30 joules. This is because the force is 10 Newton and the distance is 3 meters. 10 multiplied or times 3 is equal to 30. So the work done is 30 joules. Now learners, let's calculate work done together. What is the work done on the box that moves 10 meters as a force of 20 Newton is applied downward? What is the work done on the box that moves 10 meters as a force of 20 newtons is applied downward? Please remember the formula for work is equal to force times distance. Therefore, the force of 20 times the distance of 10 is equal to 200 joules. The work done is 200 joules. All energy that is put into a machine must be equal to all the energy that comes out. All energy that is put into a machine must be equal to all the energy that comes out. In reality, only some of the output energy will be useful because some of the energy will be transferred to the surrounding as heat or sound. When you solve problems, you can assume work done by the effort equal work done lifting the load. Power is the rate of transfer of energy. Power is the rate of doing work. The more powerful something is, the more energy it can transfer per second. The more powerful something is, the more energy it can transfer per second. Power has the unit of joules per second, which is called watts, represented by the letter W. Power is measured in watts. Power is equal to work done divided by time. So, a 100 watts light bulb converts 100 joules of electrical energy into light and heat every second. Power is equal to work done over time. Let's calculate power. A machine does 40 joules of work in 10 seconds. How much power is that? A machine does 40 joules of work in 10 seconds. How much power is that? Remember, power is equal to work done all over time. So, let's calculate and see. So the work done is 40 divided by 10. So the power is 4 watts. The power is 4 watts. Remember that power is equal to work done divided by time. Therefore, 40 divided by 10 is equal to 4. So, the power is 4 watts. Now, learners, let's calculate work done together. Calculate the power of the brakes when a car stops. Calculate the power of the brakes when a car stops. 40,000 joules of work is done by the brakes in a time of 5 seconds. 40,000 joules of work is done by the brakes in a time of 5 seconds. Power is equal to work done over time. So the work done of 40,000 divided by 5 seconds, you have 8,000 watts. 8,000 watts. Learners, today we learned that energy is the ability to do work. Energy cannot be destroyed or created, but it can be transferred from one form to another, or transferred from one object to another. Energy is measured in joules. There are several main forms of energy, and we name the 7 main forms. They are kinetic, potential, chemical, atomic, electrical, heat, and light energy. We also learned that work is done whenever energy is transferred, and work done is measured in joules. Work done is equal to force times distance moved in the direction of the force. Also, power is the rate of doing work and is measured in watts. And power is equal to work done divided by time. Now, learners, I want you to write down these questions so you can continue practicing how to calculate work done and power. Question number 1. How much work is done in lifting an object that weighs 250 Newton to a height of 4 meters? How much work is done in lifting an object that weighs 250 Newton to a height of 4 meters? How much work is done in lifting an object that weighs 250 Newton to a height of 4 meters? 2. At what rate is work done? At what rate is work done if the 250 Newton object is lifted to a height 4 meters in 4 seconds? At what rate is work done if the 250 Newton object is lifted to a height 4 meters in 4 seconds? You can use the following links to continue reading. You can go on YouTube, or you can use the following websites: www.ck12.org, KHANACADEMY.org. In our next lesson, we will be talking about machines. If you have any questions or need clarification on today's lesson, please text it to the following numbers. If you have any questions or need clarification on today's lesson, please text it to the following numbers: 0555 811 309, 0555 811 309, or 0886 579 678. This is the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. I have been your radio teacher for this lesson, Julia K. Sandiman. Amen. Amen.